Welcome to the table. I'm Stefan. This is Ray.
Hey guys, welcome.
We were supposed to talk about something interesting before you got here, but we ended up talking about fig and strawberry preserves. By the way,
If you haven't had them,
they're fantastic.
they're unbelievable.
We got a couple of
Figs
church
and
members that
strawberry
have
jam.
fig trees.
It is off the charts good. If you need some, the Signese and the Fonville's, they have some.
So, I mean, I don't know how many people would think to put figs and strawberries together in a jam, but it is a phenomenal thing.
Yeah, I would have never thought of it until I came to Front Street. I never had those two combinations.
So I'm using that as the worst transition into here we are in downtown Durham, where they have juxtaposed a new age style of living
Mini Motor City.
Into old manufacturing and car businesses.
Yeah, this was right in this area. Obviously, we're just car dealerships, cars, this sort of thing.
Mhm.
Across the street is a Lincoln Mercury dealership. Lincoln Mercury dealership now is a wedding venue.
Yes.
And it's called the Lincoln on Gear. And here we have, where we're today, we had lunch,
Motorco,
Motorco,
which another old dealership slash auto repair shop slash, yeah, all of that.
but they have, it's a music hall.
There's a music hall here at the corner, which is really cool. So where you have like downtown Chapel Hill has Cat's Cradle. Well, downtown Durham has Motorco.
Motorco Music Hall.
Yes.
And then directly behind us is where we got lunch.
At Parts and Labor.
Parts and Labor.
If you know the old Bulls Stadium, Durham Athletic Park is still right down here. So it's right in that area. Kings. So there's a lot of new things here, but then there's like King's Sandwich Shop that's right down around the corner from us. That's been here for over 60 years.
Yes.
Still going. Probably one of the oldest establishments still in the area.
And we're also surrounded by very new, modern apartments that are gorgeous.
So you can tell it doesn't take much for us to just get fascinated with things. We keep talking about old buildings turned into new things. I think that's been a common theme on At the Table discussions, because it's just really cool seeing the creativity that people come up with when they look at something that is desolate or falling apart or it's been vacant for years and years and years. And then it's just so wonderful to see people who have a vision for something new and exciting.
Reimagine it, and it is really fantastic.
You could tear the building down and do brand new from scratch.
Yeah.
But there's an honoring of what has been carried on in the past and a desire to find a new way to move that forward.
I'm kind of hooked in, you know how video algorithms work, and I started looking at this guy. His first name's Cody. I can't remember his last name. He's a young guy that plays unbelievable organs, and he's all over the world playing these organs. And so I started listening to him, and he plays like unbelievable. And then, because of that algorithm, another guy I started listening to, he has slight spiked hair and cut, and he looks like a punk rocker kind of guy in the olden days. And he just is tearing the organ up. I mean, it is just unbelievable. And both of them, in one way or the other, said we want the world to rediscover these magnificent pipe organs of what they are, rather than tearing them down, throw them away. And I thought, that is wonderful. I'm not sure. I'm almost. I would be scared to invite them to play our organ because I'm afraid of what they may do with our organ. Point being, is those guys have fallen in love with an instrument, and they are masters of their instrument. And they're bringing it to new generations. They've reimagined it. It will not sound like, for 1,000 tongues to sing that I'm accustomed to.
Sure, absolutely.
So as we're thinking about this week's message, and you kind of, as you said, we kind of got going a different direction because of your tenure with us is ending. Certainly your influence will be felt for years and years to come.
Oh, thanks.
But we got thinking of what is momentum?
Right. Yeah.
And you introduced that last week.
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do. So in the Methodist Church, when we as pastors sign up for this itinerant system, we're in this continual, every year is an opportunity for us to move somewhere else. And what we hope and we pray is that some of the work that we do in a context has enough momentum to carry after us. Because it happens every single time that a pastor moves to a new area, a new church, and someone else comes into that position, and at least a few of those things, they'll wither away or they just stop cold turkey because that momentum just stops.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad, and it's natural in a number of ways too. And so that's kind of how it goes.
It is. But the one thing that I have said for years, and I still believe in everything in me, is that part of my role as a pastor, our roles as pastor, is to help a church discover who they are,
right? So
that no matter who comes in, no matter who leaves or comes in, this is who we are. This is how we move in ministry.
And I think that's the hope for the end goal of this conversation and momentum for this month is that we can wrestle with an understanding that even though someone like me might be transitioning out and going to a new space, the momentum that has been building at Front Street, or in some other context, if you're in a context that's experiencing similar change, that whoever is leaving out is not the sole person carrying that momentum. I wonder what it looks like in our individual lives to have those small little sayings or those small little practices in our lives where we are slowly building momentum to who God is calling us to be. Maybe that's as simple as reading scripture and identifying yourself in some of those stories, or praying in some type of regular rhythm, or maybe there's just something that you say outward in your relationship to God that at the beginning you're like, I feel like I just have to say this, but by the time you get a couple of weeks, months, or years into saying it, you believe it so internally that it's a part of who you are, and it in some ways dictates a lot of the rest of the life that you live.
As we're looking at the text we're looking at today, or this weekend, I should say, at Front Street, it's Jesus walking on water, and I should say Peter walking on water.
Let's do the Mythbusters thing.
All right.
How much momentum would it actually take for you to get up to in order to walk across water or run across water? How fast do you think you should be going in order to actually make it across the water and not sink into it?
I would have been in the boat. I would have not gotten out. I'm not sure I would have gotten in the boat to begin with, but I definitely wouldn't have got out of the boat.
But, okay, so I say that in a funny way,
right.
but also in the, that's an analogy for what Peter and Jesus have done for the last couple of years in their relationship, to the point they've built and they've practiced, they've built this momentum as a relationship, so that when Peter asked the question, Lord, if it's really you, ask me to come out into the water, he means it.
Yeah. It wasn't fluff.
It wasn't a bluff.
And then when Jesus said it,
Peter goes, seemingly without hesitation.
And the thing is you reminded me as we were talking this morning, I think, or I don't remember when, but Peter had to negate all the rules, everything he knew, every principle, every thought, every fear, because I have to remember, part of the sea was the abyss, which is sort of their understanding the entrance of hell. And so it wasn't just the fear of drowning, it was the fear, if I drown,
lost.
I am lost.
There's sea monsters. Yeah.
But what did he do? He evidently put it aside and say, well, if my Lord says this, I'm going. What do you think that says for us today? I mean, don't try walking on water unless you know it's Jesus who invites you to go.
Sure. I mean, do it in the pool if you want to. Maybe that's fun.
Yeah, although you can swim.
Yeah, that's right. I think that there's so many of us that in small ways or in big ways in our lives don't take the initial step into the water, don't even begin to build momentum because of the fear of sinking, because of the fear of failure, because of the fear of you name it.
And those are real fears.
And those are real fears.
That should not just be discounted.
No, absolutely. I take that away from no one.
Yeah.
And for us to recognize, for all of us to recognize that it does take that initial step, that motion forward, that little bit of movement in order to build a momentum. The snowball that's going down the hill, it doesn't actually build up until it starts to roll, that little pebble at the top of the mountain, whatever it looks like. It takes at least a little bit of motion to get going.
Yeah, as the preacher writer John Ortberg wrote a whole book on this whole text, where if you got to walk on water, you got to get out of the boat.
Yeah.
Which I think is a pretty good understanding of who we are.
Yeah.
And that fear can debilitate us.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't debilitate us, fear can certainly keep us from entering the capacity of God that God desires for us to know and to be walking within. And it hinders us. It binds us. It locks us in. And they're really, for all of us, it seems to me, we should be stretched to a point where I don't like this, I don't want to do this, but I really feel God is leading me to this.
Yeah.
Your new move, I mean, that didn't come easy.
No. Oh,
I mean, that was agony. I mean, it was agony for me, and it wasn't my move. It was agony for me because I'm grieving. Just so, by the way, if you guys see me in church and you start talking about Sierra, mostly Sierra and the girls, but I'll throw him in there as well, Stefan, and I get teary-eyed. Just let me get teary-eyed and leave me alone, because I'm grieving. It is a real loss. But that's grief, and I know I'll be okay because I'll get to see you guys more. But for you guys, it's like uprooting everything you know for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Uh-huh.
And I think, I don't want to put words in your mouth, I think you were wise, and Sierra wise, y'all sought out people who have pastors and families who've served in North Carolina, lived here, who knew the situation a little bit, could give you insights to help you. That was part of testing the waters, for lack of a better term.
I think that's the, if there's anything...
Secret sauce?
Secret sauce, or even maybe pre-work to this momentum building that we're talking about, is the incredible importance of having people around that you can trust to take that first step out with. For Peter, it was Jesus. Yes. And it was so important that Jesus was there, because Peter's fear does come back and he begins to sink, and Jesus pulls him back out. And it's just an incredible moment. And for us, we trusted so thoroughly you and so many others that, okay, we don't totally understand all of this, but because
we said that.
Yes.
Because we didn't understand.
We didn't. But because we have so many wonderful people around us, we trusted that we could step out, and even if we fell a little bit, sunk a little bit, that we weren't going to drown. We weren't going to get lost. When you feel like you are holding on to that sense of safety, and you feel that push or that emotion of change, and you don't want to be a part of it, what you really are doing is not so much holding on to safety. I feel like more often than not, you're holding yourself back. You're holding yourself back from experiencing something good and wonderful. You're holding yourself back from some great space of growth. And so that's my wish in this conversation, in this talk about momentum, is that what you are working towards is no longer holding yourself back from the person that God is calling you to be, from the person that you know you can be or you want to be. That's the work.
It is. It's work, and it can be a little frightening at times. But the good news is, and I'm giving a little bit away for Sunday, you're not out there alone. Jesus comes to them in the boat.
Yes.
And you need to know, Jesus always comes to us. You have to be open, you have to be sensitive, and allow God to move with you in the momentum that the Spirit is carrying you. We thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you Sunday. If you live in the area at Front Street, we'd love to see you. Tell us where you saw us or how you found us. And if not, we hope that you have a great day and a great week. Thanks for watching. See you next time at the boat.